So I watched episode 10 of Only Friends Dream On and I'm still recovering. Um I wouldn't say that this show has made me cry. To be fair, I wasn't expecting the show to make me cry. I also wasn't expecting the show to make me feel sick to my stomach, and that's kind of the feeling that I walked away from episode 10 with. Now, quick disclaimer, for like 2 to 3 straight weeks, I did think that the show only had 10 episodes. Like, this season only had 10 episodes. I'm glad we're getting 12 because I was scared at episode 9. I was like, hold on, like, how? Hold on. We haven't heard, like, we haven't seen Jack and Rome have more than 2 conversations together. Boston disappeared. We have a cheating scandal going on, etc., etc., etc. How are we gonna wrap this all up? Okay, there was 3 more episodes. Okay, gotcha. Um, so I know, like, in the past, like, I've done like a very like character by character analysis, but I just want to get the thoughts out while they're still fresh. And just walk through how I'm feeling, but I will go character by character still, basically. Um, so let's talk about Dean. I just I first of all, Mix Sahapop. I think it's Sahapop. Mix Sahapop. The actor that you are. I need him sweeping award season. I don't know when award season is in Thailand, in the BL industry. I don't know. All I know is that Mix needs to be collecting everything. Yes, that, wow. Wow. That must be so, I'm thinking about the scene where, like, he's in the bathroom arguing with Jack. He finishes the argument with Jack. He walks. You can see, like, he's not well. You can see he's physically sweating. And then he just gets to the stage and turns it on. That's how you know both Mix the man is an actor, capital A, and Dean is an actor. Like, he's a professional. Oh my god. I love talented people. Mix is talented, Dean is talented. Broke my heart for him in that moment. Um I don't understand. Like, I feel so sick to my stomach that what has happened is that Dean was drugged, and I'll get to that part later. But I want to finish the statement. Dean was drugged, found himself in a situation that he wouldn't have been in if he was in his right mind, of like a sexual romantic nature. And this is like on the back of Dean trying his very hardest to change himself to be the kind of person that deserves to have acting roles, deserves to be in the lead, deserves to be with Jack. Because the whole season people have been telling him, you don't deserve this because of your past, because of your financial status, because you don't have enough followers. You don't deserve anything. And he's been working so hard this whole season to prove that he is worthy of all these things. And then because the people he was around the ops, he was around people who did not care about him and did not care to take enough care of him. He found himself in a situation in the woods that sort of cemented in him what everybody else was saying. He got into his mind, oh my, okay, I can't change. There is no way for me to be a new Dean. I don't deserve anything. Number one. Number two, after all that, he not only loses his boyfriend, he not only loses his best friend, he loses his housing, and then he has to contact one of his old clients and live there. And on top of that, he's grieving his ex, and his old client starts flirting with him, and he's like, I literally need a roof over my head. Oh, that's actually so fucked. You don't understand how fucked that is. I like and every time he tries to go, and then he gets called a slut by his ex. His ex is slut shaming him. No. Old client showing up to work, up to his place of work, up to his play, trying to give him expensive gifts, lavish, trying to flirt with him in front of his ex, It's too much. It's too much. You know who suffered more than Jesus? And this is why we'll get to Rafi later on. This is why when Rafi is crying, like, I can't believe I'm such a fool. I let myself get led on. Like, he hates me. Like, I've never felt this way before. I feel so sick. Why does it have to be me? It's like, girl, Kim, people are dying. Like, okay. Jack was, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But, like, that's why, like, the true victim of the show is Dean, and I have little time for anybody else's problems. Like, have your like, I'm not, like, it's obviously not Oppression Olympics, but when you're crashing out to the extent that you're crashing out, doing all this crazy shit, the extent that you're doing all this crazy shit, I can't have that much sympathy for you and go, okay, this is why you're doing what you're doing, because, like, this is not the worst thing that could happen to a person, Rafi, okay? Look, literally turn your head 90 degrees, look at your former co-star. The worst thing that's gonna happen to a person, it's sitting beside you, okay? Give him a break. So, yeah, there's that. I do think that, I don't know, I've seen Mix and Earth both have been talking about, you know, maybe not every character ends up together. Oh, I think that was Dross, maybe, instead of Earth. But Mix definitely tweeted, like, I don't think they should be together. I need us all... You don't understand that I'm going to become an alcoholic if I don't get Jack Dean in-game. You have to understand that. You have to understand that. Doomed Yaoi. Like, I didn't sign up for Doomed Yaoi train, bro. I thought this was BL. We all end up happy together, okay? I heard Jack Joker is a very good show. I am not interested in Doomed Yaoi. I can't do it. It's hard enough to be gay in real life, okay? When I go to gay on TV, I expect things to be I expect to get hope. I expect to say, oh, okay, hope core. Jesus Christ. But that's Dean. Now, I'll talk about because I think, like, last episode, like, I was able to defend Dean on everything. I just have this one point, like, I wish the best for Dean. I really don't get, like, in the Dean Rafi thing, I was always gonna be Team Dean, and it's not just because I love Mix, okay? I also have fond feelings for Boom, you know? It's just a thing of, like, I just think that there's more compelling things going on in Dean's character to me than what's going on in Rafi's character. And I think that might actually come down to the writing of the show. Like, I do think that I have had a harder time connecting with some characters compared to others. Like, Arnold, like, where did he even come from? Like, he has no backstory. We don't know who he is. We really haven't seen the dynamic between Jack and Rome. Like, I don't know what is going on in their family unit that they have these sorts of problems. Like, I think episode 10, I should know why. I should know what's actually going on beneath the surface of these two brothers. Like, you brought in rival brothers as a relationship to add drama and spice. But, however, I don't see any of that. Before this episode, this most recent episode, I swear they'd had, like, 3 conversations total with each other. They had 3, I'm not even, like, they had 3 conversations with each other. Now, they've had 4 conversations with each other, and it was mostly punching. And it's like, right. So, I think that maybe if some more time was given to Rafi, like, outside of his desire for these 2 different men, I would be able to sympathize more with his character. And also, and I guess, like, we saw his mom, but, like, I think, like, you have to have more than one scene for me to, like, with Dean's storyline, we see more than one scene of him doing stuff that is outside of Jack. Rafi, we had the one scene, and it's like, oh, this is supposed to explain everything, but it explained it, but it didn't give any emotional stakes there, if you know what I mean. So I think, like, And Arnold, like, what is, I don't even know. Don't even know what's going on there. Um, is his mom, he called his mom, right? His mom was sending him money because she's in California and she got remarried. Something like that. But, like, I've had harder time. I guess I'm moving on from Dean, but, like, I just want to spend my whole life talking about Dean and Mix. Like, can I not do that? I guess not. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, so I've been Team Dean, but I will say that, like, girl, you're lucky that Rafi didn't upload anything to his iCloud, because how are you going to, you already know you've got dirty laundry out in the streets, okay? And you're provoking the person that has the means, the knowledge, and the motive to completely rock your shit and fuck up your scam. And you're provoking him? Girl, after Rafi got scolded by Jack during rehearsal and he ended rehearsal early, you should have been like, girl, let's get you some acting classes. Like, practice your lines with me. Like, we could, like, let's do it. Like, let's get you up to speed. Like, I'm sorry, I was really just focused on getting my man back. I was taking a lot of stuff out on you that maybe I shouldn't have taken out on you. I'm sorry. Like, can we work it out on the remix? Dean, that should have been what the kind of timing that you were on. You were not on that timing. And that's why, like, I couldn't have been mad if Rafi had released that thing. Now, Rafi didn't, because, again, I don't know why he didn't back up his stuff on the iCloud, but that didn't happen. So you got lucky there. But Dean, we gotta move smarter than that. But that's the thing. I think Dean, like, his weakness is kind of his hubris and kind of his need to prove to the world. The world keeps saying, you don't deserve X, Y, and Z. And he has to say, girl, I am X, Y, and Z. I am the world. And that's how we get in, yeah, that's how we get into problems. I bet, who leaked the video? The question is, who leaked the video? And I bet we're going to find out. I don't know who it would even be. Like, who, you know, I know Boston likes to record stuff. He likes to be messy and record pictures and, like, and show the videos of people kissing to people, other people out in the woods, out in the wild. That's what Boston likes to do. He's messy like that. I can't see him doing that in this particular case. So I'm wondering, I think maybe, like, it had to be somebody else from Dean's past, because Dean is a controversial figure. Or maybe this is how we're going to learn more about Arnold. I don't know. I really don't know. It's interesting. I guess we can move on to Rafi now. I don't have much to say about him. Again, it's like, yes, you can lead a person on, but people also lead themselves on. I don't know how you had a backbone in episode 9. Episode 10 comes around, the backbone evaporates. I don't know. I think Twitter is also under this, like, we're a little bit confused why you're so in love with Jack. Is it really love that you're feeling with Jack? Is it something about you want to be chosen? Okay, writers, please, can we please give more time to the Rome Rafi storyline? Please. That's, like, I think that's my only problem with the show. I think that they're writing Jack and Dean in an excellent way. I guess, like, besides the fact that the show doesn't seem to think that Dean was drugged, but they showed him being drugged. I don't know why they did that. If they didn't want to, okay, but sure, whatever. Yeah, you know, like, but I'm just not seeing enough from Rafi. And then also for the Rome-Rafi romance, I don't feel moved by it. It doesn't move me, and I think, like, I really came to this show, like, prepared to love Rome Rafi as much, you know, maybe if not more than Jack Dean, because I thought Jack, I don't know, like, the exes to, well, I was intrigued by exes to lovers. I don't know why I'm really trying to, I expected to really like Rome and Rafi, but I'm not moved by them. And I think it's because we just spent too many episodes in a row of, like, Rafi is begrudgingly in the company of Rome, or Rafi and Rome are having sex. I think they had, like, 3 scenes again together where it looked like they were enjoying each other's company, and that's not been the case for any other couple on the show. And so it's just hard, and like they didn't really spend a lot of time connecting as well and spending like quality time so that we could really see them building up. As far as I know, Rafi just got that wet, that good. The grippy. I don't really know. Rafi is just so good in bed that on the turn of a dime, Rome was in love. Either that or Rome had feelings prior. Which I would have liked to see Rome having feelings prior. Like, you know, I just feel like they didn't get a lot of attention and development, and that's really why. Like, nothing on the actors, nothing on maybe even the characters themselves could have a really convincing love story. I'm not moved by them because I haven't been given the impetus to be moved. And also, until episode maybe 9 out of 12, I've never seen Rafi do a nice thing for any other person but himself. And so, I wasn't really feeling Rafi because it's like, you're not a good person. You're a sad person. You're a desperate person. You know, you could even be a sexy person. You could be a conniving person. You could be but a good person, a kind, nothing. Like, there was no positive character trait that I could pull out. And again, it's like, okay, I feel people are like, I feel so bad for Rafi. I feel so bad for Rafi. I feel so bad for Rafi. Why? His mom thing, I guess that's hard. Again, we see him, maybe there are 2 scenes with his mom, actually. Okay, right, yeah, that seems a little bit difficult, but, like, to the extent that you're doing all this, I don't know. Because the man that you want doesn't want you back. Girl, the man I want doesn't want me back. Do you see me acting like this? No! If you saw me acting like this over a man that I've never had any sort of real relationship with, people would rightfully call me a weird-ass bitch. I'm sorry. You're a little bit weird for that. Leading you on. He talks to you and he places his hand on your shoulder, and that's enough for you to go around acting a fool, leading people on. No. He's a little bit weird. Okay, he's calmed down in these recent episodes, and I like that he's calm. He seems very defeated. Maybe he just needs to walk through his life more defeated than he is in the previous times, so he can take some breaths and be calm. I haven't had a problem with him recently because he's been calm. And he hasn't been causing problems for others. Rome, he loves to throw a punch. Okay, he loves to punch people in the face. Right, okay. I guess it's like fine. I guess it'll be interesting now that the roles are reversed and he's like sort of saying like, you know, I'm just like, I've been chasing you too long. I feel like he should have been saying that a little bit earlier. Yeah, Rome. I think Rome is like a good, because he also tried to help. Because here's the thing, like, Rome tried to help Dean out. And maybe he was also doing that for a little bit of selfish reasons. He was like, I don't want Rafi to get back together, etc., with whoever. Yeah, maybe he was also being a little bit selfish. But you know, you could also tell that he like cared about Dean, cause he's a good person. Rafi is not a good person, and he has none of the confidence to carry off being evil like Jack or Dean do. So now we're sort of left in this odd place, you know what I mean? It's a little bit difficult. I don't have much else to say about Rome. I hope I learn, like, what's the deal with Rome and Jack again. Like, I can't talk about that anymore. I also don't understand him as a DJ. Like, when in episode 9, Rafi was listening to one of Rome's DJ sets, and it was literally like he was playing pop music again, and the pop music was just like he could have pressed play on Spotify, and I wouldn't know a difference. I don't know about him as a DJ. I need to see like some of his mixes more, because I just don't know about. I don't know. I just don't know about supporting his work. But next, let's talk about Arnold. Arnold, he's proven once again he's not the brightest. He's just not. Nobody is calling on Arnold for his thoughts and his like astute observations and opinions. I just can't, like, with him going up to Boston, like, and saying like, you're dating Tua now? Okay, you better not treat him weird or be strange to him. Like, if you break his heart, I oughta. And then Boston's like, we're not dating. And I was like, what? He's kind of funny for that. Low-key's a little bit. He makes me laugh. I guess he really loves Tua now. Again, we don't know much about him. we don't know anything about Arnold. Doesn't that scare anybody else? Wow. Okay, we're gonna move on now because that's all I have to say. Tua, you have the space in your heart to have sex with the guy that you have to. So for let me go back to Arnold. Like, why would he go up to Tua and say, I know you lied to me about having somebody new in your life? Do you want to humiliate him even more? That's crazy. Tua actually should have smacked you on the face for that. What he did instead was have sex, knocked over the clothing rack. He's the costume designer. After the sex was over, floor littering in costumes. I know that room was smelling too. Oh, I don't know. Tua, Arnold, they're a little. I think they're the freakiest pair on this show, actually, because every time they've been. I don't know. They got a lot of energy in them. But you have all this room in your heart to, like, open the door for Arnold. Can you also open the door for Dean, who is homeless? Can we circle back to the fact that you kicked Dean out? You know he doesn't really have income right now. Like, everybody recalls, correct, that Dean quit his hosting job. Everybody recalls, correct, that he's not been getting acting work because he doesn't have enough followers. Nobody else has forgotten that all of the stuff that he did with Arnold was in promotions for the play. Like, does he have a stable income right now? I don't know if he does. And that being the case, you just subjected this man to homelessness. Like, I knew Tua was gonna kick him out of the house. Like, I knew they weren't gonna be able to continue to live together. I didn't expect Tua, of course, to dump out all his drawers onto this driveway. That was a lot. Those were big emotions. But if you can we address the homelessness of our once dear friend? No? Okay, okay. I was surprised, actually, that Dean and Tua didn't talk at all this episode. I feel like that's another thing that we could have, that made sense. Instead of, like, it felt like we had, like, the same 3 conversations. Just, like, again and again and again, we'd see the same people have the same 3 conversations. And it's like, can we stop talking to each other? We're not making any progress. Can we stop talking to each other? Because it's clear we're not making any progress. So instead of having, like, one of those Dean Arnold conversations, and I mean Tua Arnold conversations, we could have had a Dean Arnold conversation. Maybe that could have been something. We could have seen Dean and Tua talk to each other. That could have been nice. That didn't happen. Tua, please somebody please needs to address the homelessness of Dean, because it's not, no, because again, he's been resorted, and I think that the reason that Jack didn't, like, I think gameplay was the old client that Jack didn't like Dean seeing, and the reason that they broke up. However, I think that the reason that Jack was okay with other clients, just not gameplay, is that gameplay was being a weirdo. Gameplay was kind of odd and kind of wanting too much from this kind of transactional relationship. And now Dean has to live with him and be flirted with him. He just needs a place to stay. He just needs food and a roof over his head. He's not, please. What? Oh, I feel sick to my stomach. Let's move on to Jack. I am a Jack defender. Jack is crashing out right now. I think I can understand why he's crashing out. Like, I know why he is. Me personally, like, they didn't kiss. You didn't see them kiss in the video. They didn't kiss. I think that Jack probably just has, number one, a hard time trusting Dean, and also Jack, like, already was feeling weird about that relationship and had been assured by Dean that that wasn't true. So I think if, like, it had been somebody other than Arnold, it might not have been as big of an issue, but I think Jack, you know, he already had, like, a lot of feelings that weren't resolved by the time that they got back together. And so this issue that I don't really think is that big of an issue kind of did blow up in everybody's faces. And I said this, I think, on Twitter before, but I think that Jack is an interesting character, and I relate to him a lot because he's like I feel like he's a very rational person. He's like, you know, he's very pragmatic, very practical, very rational. He's like, you have to separate work from your personal life, okay? So I'm going to try not to let my personal feelings interact with the play. He's like, I can't, if I feel like I've been betrayed 2 times by this person, it doesn't make sense for me to let them back in to betray me again, you know? I think that those are the thought processes that he goes through. Like, I shouldn't love a person. He says, in his mind, I think, I shouldn't have such strong feelings for this person that I think has hurt me this amount of times, okay? I think that he's a person who thinks that he needs to be taking care of everything, that he needs to be in control of everything around him. I don't think, like, necessarily in a malicious way. I think that some people like control just for the sake of it. I don't think that that's the kind of person that Jack is. I think that he just thinks that he sees the world as a director, as things that can be managed, problems that can be solved, you know, expenses that can be cut and discarded so that we can move forward in the most efficient way. And I think that his pragmatic nature is coming up in this moment in strong conflict with the fact that he's feeling things and that he loves Dean, you know. And he's feeling hurt by Dean. He's feeling betrayed by Dean. It might not be rational for him to feel betrayed by Dean even. I think that he even has problems internally trying to rationalize why he feels so hurt by Dean in this moment when they didn't kiss. I think he kind of knows that nothing happened. And this might be me projecting because I know him a lot. I don't know, like, why am I not affording the same thing to Rafi? Because Rafi gets on my nerves. Sorry. Sue me. And I relate more to Dean. I mean, to Jack than I do to Rafi. And so I think that's, like, number one, why he turns to alcohol, because he's trying to numb the feelings. And also why his anger comes out in such, like, specific, harmful ways. Because when he doesn't allow, like, he doesn't want to feel these emotions. So I think he represses a lot of things. You can actively see, and this is why Earth, Pure Pat, you're all the actor that you are. You can see how controlled, how slowly he thinks through his words before he says them. And that's kind of unraveling now, because when you suppress all these feelings and you don't want to, you want to bottle everything up, it comes out in a harmful way. And it definitely comes out in a harmful way. Do I think he should be slut-shaming his ex-boyfriend? No. No. That is kind of the person that he is. Like, I think that he knew that was gonna hurt him. And he was like, I want you to feel the same pain that I'm feeling. And he lashed out. I think that's kind of the person that he is. I don't think those are necessarily things like he would do to somebody that he didn't know that well and that he didn't feel that invested in. Like, not like he didn't know that well, so he didn't know exactly the ways in which to hurt Dean, but also like he's invested in what Dean is feeling. Like, so I understand why people might think they shouldn't end up together, but you don't understand. I am gonna turn to alcohol and drugs if they don't work it out in the end. You don't understand. I am. Oh, and it's like, would you fight for me? Dean wants Jack to fight. He wants somebody to fight for him. He's waiting on Jack to fight for him. And I think Jack is too afraid to. Because it doesn't make sense. Okay. Yeah. So I don't condone his actions in this episode, but he's crashing out, and this is basically what I believe that he was gonna happen, okay? He's having his little crash outs. I feel like I still love Jack. I want the best for him. He's kind of wrong for that. He should be trying to give housing to his, like that's the thing. Like, you should look at that situation and know better. And I feel like if this show treats Dean's current situation, i.e. like living with gameplay, the way that I feel like it should be treated, which is like kind of the worst possible option, and the fact that Jack was seeing that and thinking about himself, like, I think that's kind of grounds for them not to get back together, which I think is probably what's gonna, at least in episode 11, there's gonna be some kind of reconciliation, but I don't think that they're getting back together officially. If it happens, that won't happen officially until the very last episode. And maybe even, like, towards the end of the very last episode, like, I don't know. I think they're gonna get onto good ground. Oh, yeah, because, well, Timmy was hit by a car. I'm glad he's okay. Friend group is a whole mess. I will say, is this friend group more friends than the last one? I think probably so. These are more of a friend group than the last one, because I feel like in this friend group, like, nobody's actively plotting on the downfall of anybody else, okay? That was certainly the case in season 1. Holy hell. Speaking of that, Boston. I don't know what grounds. First of all, Arnold comes up to Boston and, like, is trying to talk to him, and Boston is all standoffish, like, I can't believe you did that to Tua. Girl, what moral high ground do you have to stand on against anybody in regards to relationship problems and relationship issues? Please sit this one out, Boston. Please sit this one out. I know you aren't talking to anybody about infidelity. I need you to sit this one out. He had his little, I don't think he needed closure with Nick, honestly. Like, I thought that they had closure at the end of Only Friends season 1. I'm glad that we got to see Nick again. I think the show would be incomplete if we saw everybody but Nick. I wish we could have also saw Nam Chum, but the actress is no longer with this company, so Look June is no longer with GMMTV, so okay, I miss you, Nam Chum. She was really the life of the party. She would have. Who would she have gotten along with in this cast? No, she needs to stay away from these messy gay men. Why would I even invoke that? I'm sorry. She is freed. She has been released. I'm glad we saw Nick and his new boyfriend. They would be Nick. Nick's new man is named Win. Nick win Nick. Oh, win Nick. I don't know. Win Nick. Winnick. Win Nick. Oh, they both Win ends with N and then Nick begins with N. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I just don't think that. I think that basically Nick stood up for himself at the end of season 1. So I'm glad to see him standing firm with that. It's kind of crazy that you went over. Like Boston was asking for a hug. Girl, my boyfriend is all the way over. Is over there. Excuse me. Excuse me. Maybe they should do a throuple. Ooh. If they were real, well, no, they're not going to do that. I don't know what's going to happen with Boston. I'm glad that he's finding out how to be a friend to people and not have sex. That was growth, right? That's growth. He hasn't been with anybody. Is that true? I haven't been with anybody. I haven't been with anyone since you. Is that true? He's been trying. He's certainly been trying. So what's been stopping him? I don't know about that. That felt like another lie. So I don't know what's going on with Boston, but I hope he works it out. The play is opened. I think the next episode will be like them doing the play kind of actively, and then the final episode is probably gonna be time skip, kind of, because we need a little bit of time, I think, and I think we see like Jack's doing a new play. You guys, this is hurting my heart. Jack Dean came in and changed my life low key. I don't have anything to say about the other couples. Okay. Well, I guess I'll make another video, like a proper one, after. Maybe. I don't know. I'll do what I want, actually. Okay. Bye-bye.